Well, welcome to What a Drag.
Thanks for
joining
having
us.
me.
Could you just introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Which is my camera? I'll look at
All of them.
Hi, my name's Grease Jones. I'm a drag queen. I'm also a woman. I'm also an entrepreneur. In the words of Willem, actress, mattress, and if you got $1, I got a talent.
Your name, where did that come from?
Cool. So I went through like a little cycle of drag names at the beginning, like trying to figure out like what felt like right and what felt authentic. So I kind of consider my like original drag name to be like Grease's mother, and her name was Ima Cummings. You know, puns, sex pun to come, stuff like that. So I've always liked like the idea of having kind of like a punny name. And I wouldn't really consider Grease Jones a punny name. It is a play on Grace Jones, who is like my everything.
How would you describe your style of drag?
Oh my goodness. It's like if you went to the lost and found bin and then took the worst things you could find and then just like, you know, burn those and then smeared the ashes over your body. It's kind of like that. Yeah, but I also like just like the aspects of gender performance and like kind of like playing with that, like doing stuff that isn't like normal, like traditional drag. Like I've done quite a few like things where I get to go out and do like club kid kind of stuff, and I love doing that stuff that kind of, you know, doesn't subscribe to like the normal like pads and cinch waists and like big hair and really pretty stuff that's like kind of more deliberately off-putting, but in a fun, like cartoony, artistic way.
In your opinion, what are some misconceptions about drag or the drag community?
I think one of like the biggest ones is that to do drag you have to be a dude, like you know, and like and that you have to be like a cisgendered guy who's dressing up as a woman. Like that might have been like your old school definition of like pageant drag or like even like stuff like that, but like that's not really what drag is. Drag is about like taking gender, playing with the expectations that you have with gender and kind of like flipping those on its head. It's about taking gender and recognizing it as like an aspect of performance, whether that's like a personal level of performance or like looking at it like a larger societal thing. It's about like playing with those conceptions of gender and kind of giving like a fuck you to like this like whole like system of like binaries and dichotomies of like man and woman and whatever else there are, you know? But like there's like tons of like cis females who do drag, there's tons of trans men who do drag, there's like drag kings who are like Calgary has some like the best drag kings in like the city. You've had DeVary on here, like Duke Carson, like Moby Dick. Like there's so many good drag kings in the city who are like turning out the party and like showing like some of like the queens here, like what's up. I think some of the other ones like within like the drag community, this idea that to be like a drag queen you have to be like catty and bitchy. Like don't get me wrong, like have some sass, like have some like good like old school, like be able to read, be able to like hold your own, especially when you're in a dressing room with a bunch of egos like that. You gotta be there to do that. But like, don't carry that out into the rest of your life. You know, when you're talking to other people or you're doing other shit, like you don't need to like have this like front of being like a bitch. I mean, like if it's your character, and that's great. But like, I find it a little off-putting.
We went to see Tatiana.
Yeah, that was
you
cool.
You opened for her, like you've opened for some very big names.
Yeah.
What was those experiences like, and do you have any interesting stories, or do you have like favorites, or?
It was especially just because of like how quickly it went from like just like casually doing drag and like just doing it for like my own entertainment, like my own like joy, to like actually getting like gigs and doing stuff. The like the fact that we started getting to like open up for like big queens was like wild. Like I got to open for Layla. We did a drag brunch. It was fantastic. I got to host that, which is also like a really weird experience, like hosting like an actual like drag brunch in front of like a group of like 200 people, like all who paid like a bunch of money to be there. And I'm like, oh. They're like, yeah, do you want to host? I'm like, yeah, sure, great, cool. Tatiana, that was amazing. Getting to work with Aja was really cool. That was like, you want to talk about a bitch who turns it out, like Aja like turns it out. And we also just recently had Vander Von Odd from Dragula here, and getting to work with Vander was like one of like my goals. And like getting like Dragula girls into the city was like another big thing. So like that was really cool. But yeah, like just like the fact that it went from like being so casual to getting all those opportunities was pretty jarring. It was kind of like, you know, you have like a lot of self-doubt, like, am I worth this? Like there's girls who like are coming out in like rhinestone bodysuits who have been doing this for years, who are like so good at what they do. So you could, like, in a lot of ways, you're kind of like, did I dupe someone? Like, did something happen? Like, do I got like some like, what's the fucking potion in Harry Potter? Like the Felix Felicis? Like, do I got that? Like, did something weird happen? So yeah, getting over that little bit was difficult. Like telling yourself that you deserve to be there. Like, no, you don't. But like telling yourself that you do, and that like you have like the skills to be able to like turn out a show and put something on in front of people, and like get a crowd going before all this stuff. That was a big thing that I kind of had to figure out. You kind of figure it out on the fly, but like once it was done, it was like, I was like, all right, cool, like I can do this, like that's great, like that's amazing.
Just backpacking on what you had mentioned earlier about how you weren't sure if you were worth it, or you weren't sure you had possessed the skill set and stuff like that. How did you sort of push forward from that self-doubt to just going for it?
Well, you smoke a joint, you do a couple shots, and you just do the damn thing. You go, like RuPaul will talk about like the inner saboteur and like whatnot, and like I feel like that's very real. Like most of the stuff that you think is like only in your head, like regardless of what anyone else is like saying about you, which like who gives a shit if other drag queens or the dressing room don't like, it doesn't matter. Who cares what they think? It's about you and like being able to go out and do a performance that you're happy with, and that's kind of like the biggest thing that I kind of like got to. I was like, you know what? If I'm going out there, if I'm having a good time, and I know that the people who are in front of me are having a good time with me, like I don't really give a shit about anything else. I don't care if I didn't have like the best outfit, or like I didn't do like a death drop because I can't, or like a split because I can't. I'm just not very flexible. Same. Top problems. Yeah, no, it's just like seriously, just being able to kind of incorporate like a little bit of like a I don't give a fuck attitude, and not being like delusional and thinking you're like the most amazing person in the world, but like just like again like going like if I'm having fun and they're having fun, that's all that matters. That's kind of my big thing. Is like drag should be fun, and going to a drag show should be fun. Sometimes confrontational in a good way. Like you should be kind of like, oh, that was a lot, but like you still should have fun at the end of the day.
If people wanted more information about yourself, where can they find your...
At Grease Jones on Instagram. It's spelt like it sounds, GreaseJones. Follow it up. It's a good time. Questions from the audience. They're all like, no, we're not getting involved in this. It seems like a mess. Shouts out to Marsha P. Johnson and all her trans siblings and lovely people. I don't know. Support your fucking local drag. Tip your queens and kings and anyone else who is on stage doing a performance for you, because it takes a lot of fucking guts to get up there and do that, especially for people when it's their first time. Like, if you want to have like a time when like House Down like read boots people and shit like that on your own, like do that. But still go up there and fucking tip the performer and let them know that you're there and you're supporting them. That's important. Let's see, what else? Do drugs. But like not like the bad ones. Weed's legal now. Smoke as much fucking pot as you want. Vodka soda or gin soda, not with tonic. Tonic has a lot of sugar in it. That's bad. Basically, have like a fuck ton of fun when it comes to drag. Yeah, go to local shows. I will reiterate that again. Go to local shows. Tip your performers. Support the community. There's like so many people in the city, and it has such like a growing community of like queer performers and like that just like deserve to be supported and deserve to be seen. And the only way that's going to happen is if everyone goes out to these shows.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Cool.
Cutting up and kikiing, gay old time, right?